Hey folks, welcome back to Good Enough Customs. Don't mind the noise. I got the AC running. It's gonna be a hot one today. They're talking 98, I think, and in Middle Tennessee, 98. Well, 98's hot just about anywhere. Middle Tennessee, it's like 1,000,000% humidity out there. It's quite miserable. So, trying to get some stuff banged out this morning before it gets too hot, because my little air conditioner can only keep up to so much, and beyond that it's like pissing on a wildfire. It ain't worth anything. So what I'm gonna do this morning is actually, I guess what I probably ought to do is let's pick up from where we left off last week. So last week we got the bottom end put together on the big block. I can't remember exactly where I left off on that one. We recorded all that on a Saturday and a Sunday. Yeah, 2 days to put that thing together. Probably a bit much, but we were assembling pistons and rods and rings and measuring clearances and doing, I mean, it's just, oh my God, it took so long. But did get the top end put on, minus the intake. Yeah, it was quite a lot of work last weekend. But we got a lot done. Everything was just taking a very long time. So this week we're going to finish up from last week with putting the top end together. So let's see how that goes. All right, good morning, folks. So we've got we got everything pretty well put together. Stopped last night, got tired. It was late, and that was a good call. We stopped at needing to get this timing gear off the crank. So I'm up, I'm fresh, I'm ready to go. All I have to do this right now is a 2-jaw puller. That may not work. I may need a 3-jaw for this. So we'll see if I can't get a bite on it with this little 2-jaw, and if I can't, then I'll go rent a 3-jaw. So all right, let's get her slunk down a little bit. All right, let's see what we got. So we'll get this feller kind of lined up, get some tension on it. Let's see if the old 2-jaw will do it, or if I need a 3. That slid off of there pretty easy. Oof. Is that gonna fit through that keyway? I don't think it will. All right, so 2-jaw actually worked pretty well. We're working. Gotta get this damn keyway off, and it has been so long since I've done one of these. Again, this isn't something I've done very often. I've done some stuff on the front of a motor. I've swapped out a camshaft before. I've done all this before. I don't remember how to get that thing out. I want to say you pry on it or you bang on it or something. I'm not 100%. So let me do a little looking up the old goggle machine, and I'll be right back. All right, so I saw one tip online that I was like, I've actually never seen that before. But basically take your dikes, your cutters, and you grab it, and grab the key. And maybe let's go the other way. All I'm doing is boogering this thing. Damn it. I ain't got enough room to get behind it. Okay, so that doesn't work. So a pair of pliers or a pair of dikes. That doesn't work because all I did was cut. Maybe mine are too good. I don't know. So I'll just grab an old punch. This is kind of my beater punch. It's bent and broke, and it's in all sorts of bad ways. See if we can't get this guy to knock out. Nope, just chipping more off. Something's got the dogs next door angry. kind of at a loss. This thing is not wanting to budge. And it's just shredding. Alright, so this thing is definitely being a booger. So I'm going to try a pair of vice grips on it just to see if I can't get a bite and pull it out, but I am not very optimistic about this. Ugh. Well, one thing's for sure, that vice grip's on there. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is just put a little heat on it. I'm not going to get carried away, so don't worry. I'm not going to cook anything. We're just primarily focusing on the little woodruff key. I'm going to leave the vice grips on there because maybe I can kind of do a combo thing. Now, that woodruff key I do not believe is hardened, so it ought to get hot a lot faster than this crankshaft will. So hopefully that'll be enough to where it'll just kind of release. Don't have to get a new one, because this one's definitely going to be trashed. That's not a ton of heat, but still no budgie. Well, I do know my vice grips are hot. Ah, I got movement. So basically what I did just a second ago is I heated it up a little bit more. And dumped some Freol on it. Kind of shock it. And then now just clamping the hell out of it and tapping it out with the hammer. So, seems to be moving. Gotcha.
Got him!
Yeah, she's a little boogered. I got a couple little burrs on that metal. I can feel them grabbing with my paper towel. So I'll polish that up with some emery cloth, and just make sure that those little burrs are kind of taken care of. And I'll have to go to the parts house and get a new one because this guy's fairly jacked up. I don't know if you can see that really well or not. But yeah, I butchered the hell out of this thing. So take this with me to the parts house. I'll get another one. And yeah, then we'll be all right. So cool. That's off. All right. So baked up this guy at 350 degrees.
I think it's 0.
For 30 minutes. And let's see if she slides on. She does not. Damn it. It wants to. It may be the key.
It's the key. You gotta bump it past the key. But you're already sliding.
Yeah. That sounds like she's seated. That worked out pretty well. So, yeah, they have different tools to seat these. You could use a crank pulley puller, or harmonic balancer puller, whatever you want to call it, or installation tool, I guess I should say, that screws into the snout, and you can have a cup that goes over, and then you crank it down just like you would if you're installing a pulley on something. But I didn't have anything that I could easily get around the end of the crankshaft here to get down in there, you know, that was big enough in diameter and deep enough, and also had a back to it to where I had something to screw it into and force it on there with a bolt. So reading around, people were saying throw it in the oven. Like I said, I did 350 for 30 minutes, and she slid on there pretty good. So yeah, I've never tried that before, but that worked fantastic. All right, moving on. All right, so in preparation to get the timing chain on, we need to make sure that the motor is sitting at top dead center. Typically you would do this with a dial gauge of some sort. I do not have one, so we're just gonna go by sight. I think we're dang close. There we go. And then I've already taken and set the cam to where it should be, to where my little timing mark is on the timing gear. And then I have a 0 or an O right here on this timing gear. So now it's just to make them kith. Now, if we were doing something a little crazy, some sort of crazy build, may worry about doing getting a degree wheel out and checking all that. But since this is basically a stock motor with just a little chattier cam, then this is all we're going to do. All right, torque specs on this guy is 20 foot-pounds. My torque wrench doesn't go that low, so I got my little one. Does it in inch-pounds. Easiest way to do that is multiply the foot-pounds times 12. That'll give you how many inch-pounds it is. So 240, is that right? Yeah, 240 inch-pounds. Whoops, I missed that. I gotta get that. Let's see, it's 35.
Yeah, probably got a full screwdriver here this time.
Okay, so 240 inch-pounds. Oh yeah, you got something to hold me?
Yep.
Okay, so timing set's on, everything's good there. I still got to get a Woodruff key ordered for up here for the harmonic balancer and crank pulley stuff. So we're a good ways off from doing that just yet, so not too worried about it at the moment, but I got to get that ordered. All right, so moving on, I guess what we're going to do next is we're going to get the top end kind of put in. So go ahead and drop in the lifters, set the heads on, get those guys bolted down if I have all the bolts for that. Get all the head bolts in, go ahead and get the push rods in and get the valves, you know, lashed, and kind of have the top end of it kind of ready to go. That way we can spin this guy over. Still got to put the oil pump pickup, actually the oil pump pickup tube and the pan on, but in case we drop something from up here, I'd rather it just go ahead and fall out instead of going down to the pan. Then gotta pull the pan off. So so yeah, so that's what we're gonna work on next. Be right back. All right, so we're gonna get valves dropped in. I've had them soaking since yesterday. Basically got a thing of oil, just an old Tupperware thing, and just kind of set them in there and let them soak overnight. So now it's just grabbing them and dropping them. All right, so got our gaskets, our head gaskets. Went ahead and shot them with some copper gasket sealant stuff. Gave a couple good coats. Makes them a little bit on the sticky side, but it should help these guys seal up really, really well. According to a buddy of ours, Josh, he said he does this on all his heads and he loves it. So that's what we're going with. Oh, Hercules. God, these heads are so heavy.
They're aluminum, aren't they?
Sure.
Aluminum boat anchors.
Aluminum my ass. God.
I mean,
Oh.
100 pounds.
I have no idea. It's just, I know they're heavy. I need to set this.
And grab the ever painful. And then the flush of this should be almost up here.
Yep.
I mean, it just sagged an inch.
I don't doubt it. God dog, those things are heavy. Yep. Okay. I will hold. If you grab a couple boltses. All right. So getting ready to. We got the heads on. Getting ready to start torquing these guys down. I don't know if this makes any sense because I just kind of wrote it up for my benefit, but you can see our pattern. Looked it up online. So we got 65 to 68 foot-pounds for the bottom four, 75 for everything else. We're probably going to step it up just a little bit on both of them because, you know, it's older stuff. So we're going to do that, but that's going to be our pattern, and you can Google that and find that anywhere you need. So I put it on this because I didn't want to set a cell phone in here or have to keep hunting at my cell phone. So this way, I've just got it on a piece of cardboard sitting right in front of me, and I can keep track of where I'm going. So we're going to start our first round at around 50 foot-pounds. Then our second round is going to take care of, we'll probably put it on up to the 65, 70 foot-pound area. That'll get our four bottom ones torqued down. So then we'll just kind of skip those numbers as we're doing that whenever we go to our final torque. All right, here we go. All right, push rods. I've already cleaned these, so what you want to do is you want to take and shoot some brake clean through. I shoot a little bit down this side, and I flip it and shoot them down this side, then take it with the air hose and just blow it out to blow all the crap that's in there out. But you have two different lengths. You got intake and exhaust. The intake will be the shorter one, and then once you get them blowed out and they're ready to go, you just take and set them down in there. I've got these intake ones done. I still got to do the exhaust, but we can go ahead and slide them on in there. And we'll probably put a little bit of assembly lube up here on the top of them. That way under first startup, we don't have to worry about it not having anything there. So I'm gonna clean these exhaust side, and then I'll catch back up with you here in just a little bit. The rest of them's pretty much the same. So, all right, be right back. All right, got all the push rods in, got them all set up, ready to rock. Like I said, only thing left to do really is just get a little oil or a little, you know, assembly lube at the top here, just to make sure that they don't, you know, run dry. In case anybody was wondering, factory sized push rods for the 454. Those are my parts. Those are from Elgin. Let's see, we got a PR379S, that'd be your intake, and your PR380S, that's going to be your exhaust. So there's kind of see the box difference there, but yeah. So there we go. All right, moving on. We got all the push rods in. Everything's got some lube on it, so we don't have anything, you know, rubbing on the dry side whenever we go to firing this thing off. So we need to set valve lash. Valve lash, you're going to do that on the bottom of the cam lobe. So right now the engine's set at top dead center. So we know the number one intake valve is actually both intake and exhaust are closed at top dead center. So we need to locate valves that are on the bottom side currently the way it sits, and then we can roll it over. So you can actually just look down in the valley and you can see the bottom side of the lobes on these guys. So you can actually go in here and start cranking these down. Like this guy, he's on the bottom. He's on the bottom. Let's see. He looks like he's on the bottom. He's on the bottom. And I can go to the other side and figure out which ones are on the bottom on this side. So so that's what we do. So the way we're going to want to crank these guys down, so we're basically going to set 0 lash on this, is we'll go ahead and get them tightened on down a little bit. Let me get that snugged up, since I already know this one is one. Come over here. This is the right one, isn't it? Yeah. So all I'm going to do, and I don't know if you can see, but I'm just spinning the push rod, and I'll keep spinning the push rod until I can't. Okay, now I can barely turn this guy. All right, so now we got some drag on it. I can still spin it a little bit, so we'll go ahead and tighten her on down a little bit more. All right, now I can barely turn this guy. So now that we're at that spot, we're gonna go 1/4 turn tight. And that should have me pretty well. He's not really spinning a whole lot right there, but that's exactly where we need to be. So that guy is set. Now let's find the next one. Let's see, this guy I'm pretty sure is. So we'll go ahead and crank him on down. All right, so battery died. What I ended up doing though, instead of looking at the actual cam lobe, I started looking at the lifters. I'm like, why wouldn't I just look at that? So the lifters that are down, I adjusted those guys. The ones that are up, didn't touch those. We're gonna roll the motor over 180 degrees. That should get, you know, that should basically flip everything on the motor. So everything that's up should be down, and be able to crank those down and get those valves lashed in, ready to go. So we'll do all that. I'm not gonna worry about filming it, and we'll be right back. All right, folks, so running out of steam. It's getting hot. So I guess what's left to do is setting the intake and getting all that done, but I never did do any type of port matching on the intake, so I'll probably do that here sometime this week. But I still have like the old timing cover, the valve covers, all that crap is just gross. I never touched it, so I need to kind of recondition those guys and, you know, clean them up real nice. There's still a few other pieces and parts I need to get in order to make everything pretty well ready to go, but a little sneak peek for you. So like I said, valve covers terrible. I didn't even put the timing cover on there because it's pretty rough. This one isn't bad, but they both need a good coat of paint. Went ahead and set this on there, just kind of get a feel for what it looks like. And this is a Speedmaster. I think it's a mid-rise with the air gap. So so yeah, so that ought to be pretty nice. But that's kind of where we are. So maybe next weekend we can get out here and get this motor buttoned up, get everything done, get it assembled, and then I've got a little side project I'm going to work on, so we can hear this guy fire and you know, break into cam, do all that fun stuff. So alrighty, well, I guess that's going to wrap it up for this one. I do appreciate y'all guys watching. Thank you very much. And yeah, I guess just remember, it ain't got to be perfect, just good enough. And we'll see y'all next week.